I wanted to pause for a minute this morning because so many incredibly smart things have been written by some truly brilliant people over the weekend about the horrific death of George Floyd in Minneapolis. And although I can't pretend to offer any more sort of insight, the one thing I wanted to add is just try and take it all in. I think we've been listening to the news this morning, and I spent the weekend reading and listening and podcasts and all sorts, and reaching out to friends who were truly shaken by this event. And I'd encourage you to do the same today and this week. Now, I'm not going to preach too much, but I want to just remind you that if you think this is miles away, it isn't. Racism is happening all around us, so take a stand. If you are white and you're listening to this right now, this is your problem too. It's mine, it's yours, it's everybody's. Reach out to those in your life who are marginalized, call out racism, sign petitions, write to leaders, because it's everyone's job. This isn't for black people to tell you why you should be angry. And silence is compliance. Most importantly, donate. There's opportunities all over the place, opportunities for change. There are memorials for George Floyd's family. There's all sorts of brilliant funds and charities that you can find online. This is uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable to listen to, but we should feel uncomfortable about it. So I wanted to say that, and I wanted to play this.
Black is beautiful, black is excellent, black is pain, black is joy, black is evidence. It's working twice as hard as the people you know you're better than, because you need to do double what they.
Good morning and welcome to our first online assembly. I wanted to start the assembly with the extract from Greg James's Radio 1 show this week because I thought that he was really articulate in talking about a news event that has been really difficult to understand. And I think that it's really important that we have that process that we go through, that we can educate ourselves and think about what's happened and understand it. So our assembly today is on George Floyd, racism and Black Lives Matter. If you haven't seen in the news, George Floyd was an unarmed black man. He died during an arrest in Minneapolis where police officers, 3 police officers sort of took him down, one of whom had his knee placed on Floyd's neck for more than 8 minutes, which is a restraint tactic that's banned by most forces. And you can see these are his last words printed on this picture here. He was begging for his life and he wasn't fighting back, and they were using restraint tactics that were sort of above and beyond on him. Caught on video by shocked bystanders, Floyd's death has sparked fury in the US and around the world. So this is the pictures we started on, and these are pictures of some of the protests and riots that have been happening. People are angry and frustrated. So racism is never justifiable, and the more that you as young people can bring that idea forward and challenge people who might think it is, then the world will be a better place because of what you're doing. So that's our definition of racism. Black Lives Matters movement is a group of people who are trying to create a better world for black people. From their website, this is what they say their sort of purpose is. Black Lives Matter began as a call to action in response to violence and anti-black racism. Our intention from the very beginning was to connect black people from all over the world who have shared desire for justice and act together in their communities. So this is about connecting people, getting justice and standing against any violence. And so you will have seen the hashtag Black Lives Matters quite a lot, maybe in social media. You may also have seen something which is a bit different, which says, why not all lives matter? So lots of people say, well, if you're saying Black Lives Matter, why don't all lives matter? So I've got a picture of Billie Eilish here. And I've got a picture of her there because she has been quite articulate on this topic too. And on her Instagram, she gave these 2 examples, which I've got here, about why it's not all lives matter. And I think they're really clear examples, and I wanted to share them with you. So if your friend gets a cut on their arm, are you going to wait to give all your friends a Band-Aid first because all arms matter? She asked. No. she added that you would help your friend who was bleeding because they are in pain and need. Eilish provided another example, asking if a person's house was on fire and someone was trapped inside, are you going to make the fire department go to every other house on the block because all houses matter? Now, these might seem like really silly, kind of almost childish examples, but I think that they're really important and really powerful in that if you're saying Black Lives Matter, we need to believe people when they are saying, like, we need help. Our society isn't fair. Our experience of life isn't fair. And we need to be able to believe people, and we need to be able to support them in whatever way that they need. So all of this is happening in the USA at the moment. The police brutality we've seen in the USA is awful and it's difficult to watch. The reason why we're seeing such big protests in the USA is because people have had enough of Black people being treated appallingly by some police officers. But this does not only happen in the USA, it happens all over the world, including here in the UK.